All right, final question. This is probably the longest one, but advice for CAs. Oh, you're not ready for this. Open-ended advice as a CA or post-grad life. Okay, so first off, no matter what age or year you're in, the biggest piece of advice I always tell undergraduates is that no one has it 100% figured out. So if you're like me or a lot of my fellow classmates, and if you are worried about not having it all figured out, don't worry, because nobody else does. It's like that myth that high school students think that college students have figured out, then college students think that upperclassmen have it figured out, and then upperclassmen think that adults in the real world have it figured out, and then adults in the real world think that older adults have it figured out. But in reality, no one has it really figured out. We're all kind of in process. So just know that if you don't have it all figured out, you don't know what you're going to be doing in the next year, 2 years, 10 years, it's totally fine and it's normal. And in fact, you're opening yourself up to better opportunities that way. So don't worry about that. All you need to do is focus on a few key things when you're an undergraduate, which is find out who you are. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck of your experience and your time there as an undergraduate, and know what your values are, what you're good at, and what you enjoy. Because if you can find the intersection of that, what your values are will always determine what you do and what you enjoy doing, as well as what you're good at. If you can find the intersection of that, then you're gold. But even then, on any job, even if you don't know really, you're still in self-discovery, and that's like the biggest thing, is knowing yourself. But even if you're still in process, the one thing you can control and you can always do is, even if you don't know which direction you're going, is to always do your best. Always do your best. Because one, you'll never regret doing your best, and two, it will always open up doors and opportunities for new things and new opportunities, because you're doing a good job at whatever you're doing. So it doesn't matter if you're doing the right thing or the thing that you were made to be doing. As long as you put your all into it and you will have no regrets, then you'll find yourself in a good situation later on. Always question why you're doing something, whether or not it's a project, whether it's work, whether it's a relationship or hobby. Ask yourself, does this add value to your life, or does it take away from your life? Because you don't want to have all the unnecessary stress in your life. You can't become your best self if you're trying to choose, if you're trying to juggle these things that aren't even important to you. Like why are you doing something? Is it because your parents want you to do it, or is it to make society proud of you, or to impress people that you don't even care about, right? But if you spend your time doing things for the right reasons, you will never regret it. And so that's going to save you a ton of time down the road, if you start now while you're still an undergraduate. And lastly, don't worry. My favorite quote from the famous philosopher in one of my favorite movies, Newt Scamander from Fantastic Beasts, says that when you worry, you suffer twice. I love this quote because things are going to happen whether or not they do happen. You don't have to worry about it, right? Like, you only really have this moment, and most of your greatest fears in life will never be actualized. And so then you just need to tackle it when you get there, when you cross that bridge. So don't worry about it so much. I know it might be easier said than done, but it's like a skill. It's like a muscle. You have to practice not worrying and just handle what comes in front of you at the moment, and just walk in faith. Just know that you're gonna get it done. Do the right things, and don't try to worry about things you can't control. Just do the things that you know that are right things to do. And just lastly, just always focus on striving to become your best self, to grow into your best self. You'll never achieve it, but as long as you're in process of growing to become your best self, and always being kind to others, because that's so big, then you'll always be happy. So that is JR's life lesson in a nutshell from where I'm at.